Welcome in, Kuma Crew. It is once more your favourite friend of despair bear, Annakuma, and we're back with a hotly awaited, by awarded at least, demo review that I've had in the back burner since this time last year, maybe. Possibly not. It's been a while though. Today we'll be talking about Crashable Studios' silly mystery adventure game, Wildwood Down. Yes, this is one of the OG demos I played last year for a Next Fest, I believe, and never got around to making the video. Look, 2024 was hard. As you've no doubt seen, I've got a lot more work done in 2025 already than I did last year, so go me. Wildwood Down is probably my top 3 most anticipated games. It was alongside Prim at one point, but Prim is now out, and I do have a review about that out on my channel right now, if you want to go see it. It now sits with Rosewater, which will already be out by the time this review is out, but not nowhere near when I'm writing this, if that makes any sense. And also probably Death Corp, which doesn't have a release date and doesn't have a video out yet, but I will make one. But Wildwood Down was priority, because I played this demo long before I played Death Corp's demo. Guys, the backlog of videos is real, but I'm getting there 2 videos at a time. Okay, let me stop rambling like a lunatic and let us go on a journey with Daniel. This is Daniel, by the way. We start the game off with a live-action cutscene, like something straight out of the Page Master. Daniel tells us we're going on an adventure with him, and honestly, it gets me pumped. I'm not even joking about the Page Master comparison. It reminded me of good old Christopher Lee telling a young Macaulay Culkin the wonders of the library. Just Daniel does it in a much cooler way, because this dude, he's doing it rocking Crocs.
Ice cream. 20 years ago. This is how it went down.
We then get into the demo itself. Daniel is on his way to Wildwood with his sister Becca and her friends Dakota and Josh. There is a party going on for the seniors, and Josh's band is playing that night. In the car, we get a good look at everyone's personalities. Dakota is pretty chill and likable with a cool pizza tattoo. Becca obviously loves her brother Daniel. And Josh is a bit of a jerk, so we steal his hat and throw it out of the window.
Daniel, this is your conscience. Do not throw it out the window.
This serves as a tutorial puzzle, teaching us how to use the inventory and about the hotspot detectors and getting us used to the movement. It also introduces us to another character, Daniel's conscience, who also kind of acts like a narrator at times. He'll be with us throughout the game, commenting on things he thinks Daniel should and shouldn't do, and just keeping us all informed on things.
Someone else's soggy, wet beach towel. No, it's fine.
When we get to Wildwood, Becca needs to go pay for the parking on the car and gives us our mum's credit card to go buy donuts and coffee. This will be the main part of the demo, where we get to play a little bit of the game and solve the puzzle of getting our mum's credit card back from a feathered thief before we dip into the mystery part of the game.
Oh, shit.
In all the time it takes us to get the coffee and donuts, which also includes us blowing up the coffee shack and getting thrown into a trash can, Becca hasn't come back, so we split up to find her, just for us to also then lose Dakota too. With Josh more worried about his band than our missing friends, Daniel heads to the beach just to find Dakota buried in the sand.
That's Dakota's tattoo. This is not good.
Oh no. Dakota dead?
The game ends with a mysterious meeting, a gas attack, and this police officer being, well, weird.
Does a one-legged duck swim in a circle? We're gonna do our damnedest.
Boom, end of demo. This is a game I talk about quite often on stream because the demo was just so fun. Daniel was a great main character. He was charming and silly, but also just nice. I've talked for many hours, 2 of them in fact at least, straight, about main characters that are for some reason just rude and miserable. They have their charm, but sometimes it's just nice to be following a cheeky chappy who just is enjoying life, and Daniel is just that. But the people he meets are also all full of life too. As I said, Dakota is very chill, Josh might be awful, but you need a villain of some sort, right? Miggy is hilarious, the cop is weird but wonderful, and this old coot is old and cootish. But hey, we're gonna throw a towel over him, so who cares?
What's wrong with you? You got it in my cuts. And my cigarette is drenched.
It is a game that promises mystery and intrigue, and I'm excited by that. But what I really loved was the look of the game, and I guess that is what I'm mainly going to talk about right now. It is pixel art in a 3D space, and it's done really well. Daniel can move all around the screen with real ease, and using this 3D area gives the game the ability of giving us sweeping shots, and even just changing our perspective real easy on things. It all looks really cool. I have to admit, when it all started up, I wasn't that sure about what was happening with the art style. The 3D pixel look didn't strike me right off the bat, but when we started getting to bits like when we look up at the seagull, or even just moving around the back of the stage, and the camera just swept naturally to different angles, it just looked fantastic. Hell, I spent forever pressing the speech ball on the menu screen because it deflates and I love it. This is fantastic. One of the best shots I've ever seen in a demo is when Daniel was talking to Officer Huck on the beach after finding Dakota. The camera is behind Dakota's buried hand, and we have the flashing lights on the scene. It looks like something straight out of CSI and is so really well done. There are some really nice little touches in the game that I just really enjoyed too. For example, the inventory is just a box of stuff. It is legit just a box. It is a nice looking inventory, and I did play this demo and record it long before I realized maybe if I'm recording things for reviews, I should probably calm my tits down and let me have a proper look at what I'm looking at on screen, because you're not going to get to see the inventory much more than this. But I think it will work really well for the inventory in the game. It doesn't look like it's going to get cluttered, it looks like it's going to be easy to navigate, and it's an interesting looking inventory as well. Another nice little touch is the cursor changing to Crocs when you can leave a screen, bringing some of Daniel's own fashion flair to the game. Now, my one main personal concern might be that the humor might end up not hitting with me. There was a fart joke, but this one fart joke was actually funny. It's the only funny fart joke I've ever seen. The build-up, the conscience warning Daniel, the aftermath, and even the police officer commenting on it afterwards were well delivered. But it isn't necessarily my kind of humor, and it won't ruin the game. I've played through much worse. Heck, I'm a Simon the Sorcerer 2 survivor. I wear that badge with honor on Twitch. But I do wonder if later in the game, some humor might just not hit for me. It was a problem I had with its Grim Up North. As much as I wanted to love that game, I kept being put off by the jokes. I just didn't find them funny, and I do worry if that's going to be a thing with Wildwood Downs. One thing I need to mention is that Daniel has Down syndrome. I know, surprising, really. This isn't important to the game at all. Why am I mentioning it then? Because so far, this is what inclusion really means. Daniel is a real human, but Daniel is also just the star of a point-and-click game. He is just as capable in this world as Guybrush, George, Graham. Wait, why are so many classic adventure game protagonists men with names starting with G? We've got good old Gabriel here as well. Anyway, never mind, that's not important. He's just as capable of having adventures as any of them, and more so than someone like Simon, or more willing than someone like Rincewind. Daniel having Downs is only a thing because the people making the game based it on their friend. People don't really interact with him any differently than they would anyone else. They let Josh be a dick to him and call Josh out for being a dick, not because he's being a dick to someone that's disabled, but because he's just being a dick. As a disabled person myself, I never feel my disability is who I am, but that doesn't mean my disability isn't there. Seeing people with disabilities, even in pixel form, doing the same shit as anyone else is fun. People want to see characters like them in games, not because they want to have a game centered on their problems, but because they want to be able to imagine they can have adventures too. It doesn't bother us that there aren't more disabled people in games, and we'll be the first to moan when the disability is all the character has to them, but it's just nice to see diverse main characters doing the same shit any other main character would do. And that is really one of the biggest reasons I got excited. It is a passion project by Daniel's friends. Daniel having something like Down syndrome is important to the story, but they don't change who he is, and just let him have his adventure. Not only that, but one nice touch that I saw on their Steam page is that a percentage of the sales will go to a Downs organization when the game is out, so it's just lovely, honestly. We don't yet have a release date for Wildwood Down, but I can't wait for the murder mystery of 2025 to be released. If you can't wait either, the link to the Steam page is down below as always, so go wishlist it, because wishlisting games really helps small indie companies get their games noticed. We have a hopeful Q2 2025 release time frame, and the demo is still up if you want to go and give it a whirl too. That is all this bear has time for today though, guys. I hope you found this interesting. If you'd like to see more crazy things with this crazy bear, then like this video, comment below on your favorite donut, and subscribe. Also, give me a follow over at twitch.tv/Annakuma, where I play games 5 days a week to various degrees of finished. Shut up about Spiral already, Dogma. Be quiet. And I will 200% be playing this game on release when it releases, or as close to its release date as I can because timing and all that. Till next time, guys, don't go blowing things up. Again, I'm looking at you, Dogma. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye.